And joining us now with this week's Ag Minute is Lauren Thom. And Lauren, welcome back.
Thank you.
Well, today we're going to be talking about that Valentine's Day treat that is often misunderstood but is a linchpin of the Valentine's Day celebration.
That's right. It's not the traditional box of chocolates, but this week's Ag Minute is about conversation hearts. You know those heart-shaped candies with flirty sayings on them like call me and kiss me? Well, these candies have quite an interesting story behind them, and they were actually one of the first candies to have words printed on them.
You see them everywhere this time of year. Conversation hearts. For more than 100 years, romantics have spelled out their Valentine sentiments on these heart-shaped candies. The first concept of including sayings with candy started with peppermint lozenges back in 1847. Except the sayings weren't printed on the candy. It was printed inside the foil wrapper. Then in 1901, Necco began printing words on the actual candy. At first, there were different shapes like circles, shells, and even horseshoes. But over time, the sayings got shorter, and it just seemed to fit perfectly on the heart shape. Each year, the sayings on the conversation hearts change. This year, Necco has announced that the 2009 Conversation Hearts theme is Menu of Love. And while the sayings change every year, the recipe for the tiny, bright-colored conversation hearts has remained the same for over 100 years. How sweet!
It's estimated that 8 billion conversation hearts will be produced this year alone. That's enough candy hearts to stretch from Rome, Italy to Valentine, Arizona and back 20 times. Well, now for TWILA trivia. Last week we asked you, how many cups of coffee does the average American drink in one day? The answer is 3. Now for this week's question. What game show has a tradition of featuring a trivia question about conversation hearts on its show each year? Is it A, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, B, Jeopardy, or is it C, The Price is Right? Log on to twilatv.org to submit your answer, and we'll send one correct entry of This Week in Louisiana Agriculture coffee mug and your very own bag of 2009 Conversation Hearts.